Hi guys, welcome to Melissa's Musings. It is a gorgeous Tuesday here in San Diego. The sun is shining. It's a glorious day to be alive. And as some of you guys come on in here, I'm really excited. I'll introduce myself for those of you watching on the replay. I am Melissa Steele, real estate agent extraordinaire, host of Melissa's Musings. And I had something come up for me this past weekend around judgment. And it was actually a really interesting experience. So as some of you guys come on, I'm going to dive right into my story to be cognizant of all of your time. But Facebook is weird, so it doesn't show me that anybody's watching, but that's okay. I'm going to jive. It's going to be good. Lately, it's taken like 2 or 3 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's like 10 people are watching, and I'm like, woohoo! So I don't know what's happening, but that's okay. We're gonna roll with it. So this past weekend, John and I, as many of you guys know, we share one car, and it typically works out totally fine. Like, we don't necessarily need a second car. It's very infrequent where we'll be booked so solid, which is an amazing thing, where one of us needs to Uber around. So this past weekend was actually one of those situations. John was doing the grand old tour of southern San Diego. He was like in San Isidro and Chula Vista and Imperial Beach, and I was doing a lot of showings in kind of the northern part of San Diego, so it was too difficult for him to drop me off and all that stuff. So I was Ubering around. And one of the things that I really love about Uber is, well, one, it is so much cheaper than a second car. And two, it allows me the opportunity to meet people that I wouldn't have met before. So I love Uber. I actually become pretty good friends, I would say, with the person that I'm Ubering around with. And it's not uncommon. I would say 9 times out of 10, they end up with my card. We end up connecting socially or in some capacity because I love people and I love to meet new peeps. Hi, Alex. Thanks for joining in. Alex is my peep, you guys. He runs an amazing, I'll give you a little shout out, my friend, because you gave me one this morning. But Alex runs an amazing morning group that every day, he's on the East Coast. So for those of you West Coast peeps, by the time you wake up, the group will have an amazing post in it. It's a glorious way to start your morning. If you don't already follow Alex, you absolutely should, because he's a rock star and a half and all about those good vibes. Love you, my friend. So anyways, Sunday morning, John is driving around southern San Diego, and I'm blessed enough to need to Uber, and I get to meet new people. And in the first Uber ride, I connected with somebody. His name was, I believe it, if I'm pronouncing it right, Hassad, and he was driving me, and we're driving along, and we're conversing. And I asked him, he had a bit of an accent. He was sharing with me the story of his kids and coming to this country. And I asked him, awesome, where did you move from? And I was telling John, it literally broke my heart the way that he glanced at me in the rearview mirror as he told me where he was from. He was like, I'm from Afghanistan. And the look that he gave me in the mirror was one of fear, anxiety, it was basically looking at me like, ooh, am I gonna be judged by this woman in the back seat? It was an immediate recognition on my part. We're jiving, we're having a great conversation, and it's the first moment that I noticed his eyes in the rearview mirror, and they were hesitant to share with me where he was from. And it made me so sad. My response was, that's amazing. And I literally said, I'm so grateful to get to call you my neighbor. I am so thankful that you're here in San Diego. Thank you for coming to this country and for doing what you're doing. And I know it's not easy. The hustle is so commendable, and I appreciate that you're my neighbor. And immediately the lines around his eyes loosened, and he smiled at me in the mirror. But the hesitation that he had and that look that he gave me in the rearview mirror was one that really hurt my heart. And it hurt my heart because I wonder how many times he tells other people that that's where he's from, and he doesn't get the response that I gave him, right? The conditioning that he's used to based on that response, there I'm sure are positive people like me, but because there's not, he had that moment of hesitation of sharing who he truly was. A man from Afghanistan who is living in this country, our country, together, and he's my neighbor. What a beautiful thing. Hassad is my neighbor. He was an amazing human being. This guy is working his ass off because his wife doesn't no English yet, and his kids are like in the school systems, and he's been working his way up. Basically, he was sharing with me that they started in a really rough neighborhood where the schools were rated a 3, and he's moved them to a neighborhood where the schools are rated a 5, and just recently in the last 6 months, he moved his kids to a school where they're rated a 7. The school's rated a 7. Like, how freaking commendable are his actions, are the moves that he's taking in this country, and he's had to work so hard. I know that for a fact because I have had to work hard, and I am a white female. And this is a man supporting a family and a wife who doesn't speak English from Afghanistan. And it really had me think, how often are we judging the people around us because of where they're from, or what their sexual orientation may be, or maybe even by what they're wearing? How often are you potentially judging people based on who they are as a person, based on who that individual and who that human being really is? Like, Hassad, part of his story is that he's from Afghanistan. Like, what a beautiful part of his story, right? What a beautiful opportunity that now I get to be neighbors with somebody from a country like that. Somewhere so far away with such different culture and different, beliefs and different family style. I personally think it's beautiful. I had no judgment towards it. But the look that he gave me in the mirror showed me how many people do. And so it really brought up a lot of emotion for me because that look that I got in the mirror, despite me banishing the look very quickly and his fear turning into a smile when he realized that I wouldn't have a problem with where he was from, it hurt my heart that people have a problem with where he's from. Because Hassad was a wonderful human. Like, he was so friendly, so loving. Like, I gave him my card and I was like, we're going to be friends probably for a long time because that's how I am. But it really got me to thinking, like, if you guys have judgments around certain things, ask yourself why. If you don't like somebody's religion or what their political affiliation is or what their sexual orientation is, why? Why is that coming up for you? Because let me tell you, my friend, it has nothing to do with the person that you're judging. It has everything to do with you. So if there's judgment that's coming up for you, it's time to evaluate why that's showing up. And it's time to evaluate how that's affecting those around you, because that glance that I got in the mirror is one that I'm committed to changing. And that glance that I got in the mirror is one that I am committed to not entertaining in my life. Like, I get to continually banish that look in the mirror and show people and prove to people what's possible when they share what they truly are and where they're from and who they truly are. So that's my message for you guys today. It's a short and sweet one, but it really resonated with me. Because that glance that I got in the mirror will stick with me for a really long time. And I know that I'm going to think about it the next time I go to judge somebody. And honestly, when I'm in judgment mode, it's a reflection of me. It's usually because of shit that I have in my filing cabinet full of shit. It's usually my ego conversation. So it's a really fantastic opportunity to reflect when we're in judgment. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you guys for joining in. I saw a bunch of you coming on here. Vince, Sean, Alex, Michelle. Aw, thanks, Alex. Powerful musing. Good stuff. I am to please, my friends. I try. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I love you. Talk to you soon.